What's going on, guys, and welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we've got a Total War Warhammer 2 Mortal Empires 2 versus 2 quick battle for you. And this is my buddy Magic Potato. It's his birthday bash. So if any of you guys have any birthdays coming up, you want to get a game on the channel, just let me know. We'll play one and we can get you right on the channel. So this is actually a really quick battle, but I did want to go ahead and show you guys what it's like. A lot of our 2 versus 2s we play, because we do have a lot of teamwork there, it's kind of a stomp. So I did want to give you guys just an idea of kind of what happens when you get counterpicked like this. So for our squad, we do have Chaos and we have the Beastmen. And we are facing off on the other side. You'll see there's the Empire led by Karl Franz, as well as a group of Greenskins, who is led by Azhag the Slaughter. And something you don't see every day, you see Azhag is over here and he is on foot. So for my Chaos army, you'll see in the front here, I have brought the Chaos Warriors with great weapons. And unlike the shielded variety, which has shields and can survive a little bit longer, these guys do have the armor piercing damage. So they do have quite a bit of armor piercing. They will be able to do 28, so that'll cut right through. With 36 melee attack, those guys will do some good damage. Here in the back, you'll see that I have buffed up some aspiring champions. So I've got 2 groups here. We've got 3 chevrons in them. That actually gives them 69 melee defense. So with 120 armor and silver shields, even though they do have low model counts, they're going to be really hard to take down. Here leading our army, you see we do have a Chaos Lord, and we have brought him on that 2-headed Chaos Dragon, and that is always really great because he brings to the table this Dark Fire of Chaos, which is that Dragon Fire, and you'll see it just does a ton of damage. And if you get a straight hit on that, I mean, it'll take a huge amount of health off of something. Besides that, we do have this Chaos Sorcerer of Death, and I have brought Soul Blight as well as Spirit Leech, and put together with Life Leeching, we should get a good number of spells off on top of this Chaos Mana Core, which will give us a lot of mobility. Here in the back, you'll see that we do have a group of Forsaken on the left and on the right flanks, and those Forsaken with their 2 chevrons, they actually have 63 weapon strength. So the big bonus of the Forsaken is just their ability to do a ton of damage with that 41 melee attack and that huge weapon damage. They can get in there, they attack real fast, and they'll do a bunch of work. Besides that, we have the big boys here in the middle. We've got these Chosen with great weapons. Look at them. I mean, those are always my favorite Chaos troops. They've got 48 armor piercing weapon strength, 120 armor. Besides that, we do have one group of Chaos Trolls, and I have them in here because they do cause fear. And so these guys, besides, I mean, we've just got a bunch of fear causing units. We're trying to cause terror, we're trying to cause fear. We got the Mana Core in there, and we'll just really try to do what we can to kind of alarm those Greenskins. These Chaos Trolls also have 100 armor piercing weapon strength. So against Black Orcs or something like that, if you can charge them in, they'll get a good amount of damage. You'll see Magic Potato has also given me this Cygor, and that's going to do a lot of work. So the Cygor with his armor piercing damage, he'll just be tossing rocks, and he should be able to kind of punt, because since I don't have any artillery, I didn't bring a hell cannon, he should be able to punish them and kind of make them come towards me. Over here for Magic Potato's other half of his army, you'll see he's got 2 groups of Chaos Poison Warhounds here on the flank, and those are actually one of my favorite units. These Chaos Poison Warhounds, besides applying the poison effect, they're 95 speed. They're able just to really, for their low cost, they're able to just cause a ton of damage. And if you stop paying attention for 1 second, those Chaos Poison Warhounds will get in there and they'll drag you down. Here for his front line, you'll see he does have a bunch of Ungor Herd, which are just kind of in there. And you notice he did buy some pretty expensive stuff with this giant, with this Cygor over here. So an Ungor Herd front line is pretty much what you get. He's also got a couple of groups of Ungor Raiders over here. And here in the back, he does have 2 groups of Gore Herd. And finally, his Elite Bestigor Herd, which are here in the farthest back. And they're the ones with the armor piercing. So he's just got a good variety of frontline troops, as well as a giant here. And he does have this Bray Shaman with the Lore of Beasts. So he has brought the transformation of Kadon, as well as the Flock of Doom there, so he should be able to do some pretty good work. Besides that, he does have Khazrak 1 eye, and it looks like he is on his Gore Beast Chariot, so he'll be doing a good amount of damage there. He does have those AoE, that AoE buff spell, and so with that and the Gorble, I mean, the Gorble is just so expensive, so beastly. He does tons of damage. So, I mean, if you see all these big expensive toys over here, the Cygor, the Giant, the Gorble, he's just got all sorts of fun stuff to be had. But that's really kind of dangerous, because over here for the Empire, he does have 2 groups of Knights of the Blazing Sun. And even though they don't have anti-large damage, they are going to be able to be really mobile. Besides that, he does have this 2 groups of halberders, one on each flank, as well as a bunch of ranged units here. He's got 2 groups of crossbowmen in the front, and he's got these swordsmen. He's got 2 groups of swordsmen, and you look, they actually have some chevrons in them. The swordsmen do. So he does have 2 groups, 2 chevrons in each of those, which will increase their melee attack and defense. But he does not want to be engaging these swordsmen into pretty much the front line of my chaos. He's going to want to fight those Ungors. Besides that, and here in the back, he does have 2 units of great swords, and we'll take a look at them. I always like their frilly pants and their 2-handed swords. I mean, those are nasty. I mean, those swords will cut right through. They do have 32 armor piercing, so they'll be pretty good. And he does have these spearmen here in reserve. Now, a lot of money is spent here on Karl Franz, and if you look, he's got him right there on Deathclaw. He's going to be doing. Look at that! Oh, I love it. I just love the detail. Look, it says Karl there, right there, Karl Franz. All right, so he's going to be doing some major work with the Karl up on his flying lord there, and he also does have this great cannon, which is over here, and it's kind of helping the Greenskins, which is funny because I did the exact same thing. So I also have a Cygor over there helping me. So for the Greenskins, we have Savage Orc, Boy Biggins. We do have some Black Orcs. Got some more Biggins, and just generally a front line of Biggins, and he doesn't have the Black Orcs I was expecting, just the 1 group. But what he does have over here is a ton of Night Goblins. So if you look, he's got a bunch of these Night Goblins here, and they are fanatics because they do have the spinning loons. Those spinning loons can do huge amounts of damage in the right place. And behind them, he does have, look at that, he's got 2 groups of trolls. These Greenskin trolls, they're all right. The one thing they have is just low leadership, and like a lot of Greenskin units, but since they have regeneration, they can route and come back. But any fire damage will put a big hurting on them. He's also brought this rock lobber, so they've got the great cannon and the rock lobber over on one side. And like I said, he does have Azhag over here, and look at that. Azhag has got he's on foot, and he's got a bunch of spells, so he is ready for action. I think he actually even brought can I get on there? I don't know, man. But he actually, I think he even brought the Scroll of Power. So either way, let's go ahead and take a look. Anything else we missed? He's got some Night Goblin archers, and one noticeable thing we're missing is the Rusty Airs. So almost every Greenskin player auto includes the Rusty Airs. Maybe he was a little bit short on money, but if it was me, I would have gotten a few more Black Orcs and maybe not as many Trolls. But overall, I mean, it's kind of a different army composition, so we're gonna have to see how it works. And let's go ahead and get this battle moving. All right, so right off the bat, you'll see that I just start kind of trying to move up here with my main army to kind of, and the main thing we're gonna be trying to do right here is we're gonna be trying to we just want to shield off this Greenskin player, because since the Empire player is so close here on the right, we really know that we can probably get in here. I'm gonna send my Chaos Lord, I'm gonna send my Chaos Sorcerer of Death, and we're just gonna start tossing rocks with this Cygor. So the Cygor's gonna start doing some good work. You see over here, it starts landing on this Goblin Rock Lobber, and we're also gonna start moving up these Chaos Warriors. So if he starts shooting at my warriors, he'll hit them, they'll be on the move. I will take some good damage, but we're doing all right. And at the same time, we are already starting to get engaged over here against the Empire player. So if you see here, those Ungor Raiders are already starting to shoot the swordsmen, which since they have shields, probably not the best target, but I actually am able to get a good charge in. Although it doesn't do any damage to the Bright Wizard, I'm just going to go ahead and get in here. And we're also going to cast Spirit Leech there on Karl Franz. So we're not doing too bad. And as you watch here, we're going to get this Chaos Sword, and I'm going to slow it down because he just takes right through those swordsmen. And you see these great swords are charging after, and oh, Karl Franz is on the ground, and that is not what he wants. So if you see here, the net right off the bat, we're charging in, and we did some damage to the Bright Wizard, but Karl Franz is our big goal here. So you see here, we actually are getting in there. The two-headed Chaos Dragon is nailing him. This Manticore is on top of him, and we're doing all right. We're gonna continue moving in over here on the left. But if you see here, these these Cast Poison Warhounds have actually gotten right on the Rock Lobber and the Great Cannon. So and another Rock Lance from that Cygor, but that is going to be some trouble. So those Warhounds more than paid for themselves. You see up here, Karl Franz is already flying, but he is down to a quarter health. And we've got the Gorbel, we've got the Chaos Sorcerer with his Mana Core, and our Chaos Lord on top of this Bright Wizard. And he's going to be taken out almost immediately. And look at that, we've got a Dragon Breath. Oh man, and look at Karl Franz. I mean, he's got regeneration, but even with regeneration, he's not going to pull back too easily from this. He did manage to break out that Chaos Sorcerer of Death. But with Karl Franz up here in the air, I'm going to go ahead and pop Foe Seeker, and we're going to, I mean, that's pretty much it. The Bright Wizard's going down, and Karl Franz is going down. Over here on the left, you'll see that we're finally going to start to get an engagement. But it is pretty much over here on the right side. The balance of power is already starting to move in our favor, and we've this Ungor herd has tied up some of these frontline units. But watch this. I mean, this is pretty much probably the last hurrah here. We're gonna go ahead and let's see if we can't get a hit. I don't know if he gets him. Oh man, he's almost got him, and that wasn't probably the best. I think he might have gotten knocked off by the arrow, but look at Karl Franz. Oh man, his dead body flying through the air, and that dive bomb with that. Oh, but besides that, I mean, there's also we've also pretty much killed the caster. I think the Gorbel right over here, he's gonna take out that Bright Wizard right now, and that is gonna make it really, really hard for this Empire player. There we go, the Bright Wizard shattered, and even though he does still have a ton of these knights, I mean, that is gonna be a huge hit to the leadership of these units. He does have this Giantess up here causing terror to the Great Swords, and these units are all gonna rout off. So that is. The Empire player has just been decapitated, and look at the Cygor still tossing stuff in, and we have pretty much gotten engaged heavily over here. But at this point, Soul Blight has now been cast on Azhag, and we've pretty much routed off all of these greenskin units that were up in the front. These heavy Forsaken were able to kind of get in the back of the group of Night Goblins here, and they just routed them right off. So besides that, these trolls are getting... Oh, there's another big Dragon Breath that's going to come in on Azhag. And he's got Spirit Leech on him as well. So even though he does have that Scroll of Power on him, that is not going to help. You see, we're going to charge in here, and we're just going to decapitate this leadership also. Oh, you see the Chaos Mana Core come in there. He's surrounded, and I don't think... I'm going to see if we can get a shot of it in here. Oh, you see him sent flying onto his face, and there goes... Azhag the Slaughterer. He is Azhag the Slaughterer at this point, even though I'm a greenskin player. That's pretty much it. You see here, you're gonna see all of these units. You'll see that the Great Weapon Chaos Warriors are in here fighting the trolls. You'll see that pretty much all of these greenskin units just took a huge hit to their leadership. The Black Orcs are still stable up here, but these Orc Biggins, they're breaking off. We've got these Chaos Trolls charging in. We've still got Cygor rocks landing and slamming people everywhere. And that's pretty much all she wrote. If take a look, all of these greenskin units are routing off, and we just decapitated their leadership. So that was just a ruthless battle, and a lot of the time in those 2 versus 2s, that's what happens. But I just want to make sure and get it up. The birthday bash. It was a good time, and this shows what happens if you really outpick your opponent. If you have some. I mean, when I saw that the greenskin player, there's a lot of time they won't bring someone in the air. I figured the Mana Core and the Chaos Dragon would easily be able to take, hopefully be able to take what the Empire brought. I figured I could always stay over the top of my army if not. But yeah, I mean, we were able to take out. You saw Karl Franz got baited in there. When we charged in on the Bright Wizard, he was able to take the Bright Wizard right out. But when he dived Karl Franz in, he got out of there with only about 1/3 of his health left. So you see the Bright Wizard, no kills, but he looked like he was buffing, but still 7 kills with Karl Franz. So just not really great, he was routed off so quickly, and you saw that the my buddy Magic Potato, his units of Chaos Poison Warehounds, look at that, 96 kills. They were able to get in and kill those Great Cannons really easily. They were able to get in, and that just taking out that Rock Clobber and Great Cannon, that allowed Magic Potato's Cygor really to keep firing. I mean, look at Magic Potato, only took 368 losses. He brought 1,000 units, so he did take some losses to some of his Ungors, but he was able to do some really good work. I mean, best score herd, 62 kills, 80 kills with 2 groups of Gore herd. I mean, these guys were, and 104 with Khazrak. So I know we really didn't get to zoom in as much on the frontline battle, but he was taking Khazrak and he was just smashing them through, back and forth through those front lines. You saw that besides the Chaos Poison Warehouse being able to take out those artillery units, they also got in there and did good work against some crossbowmen. They got into some knights. I mean, they were all over the battlefield. Even the Ungor Raiders, 30 kills, 17 kills. And so if you see, I mean, Spearmen and Swordsmen, they're really not going to be able to do a lot of damage. They're going to get cut down pretty quickly. It's okay to have a few for fodder units, but you really don't want to have, I don't think, quite as many as they did. His halberders were actually able to get a good number of kills. The great swords as well, 85 on this group. But I mean, these expensive knights weren't able to get their money's worth, and neither was the great cannon. So overall, it was just really hard for the Empire player since he got singled out right off the bat. If you take a look at my units, you see I got 31 with the Chosen, and there wasn't a lot of kills on the left side. I mean, that once we broke off Azhag, and since he was already had leadership losses, I think, from the Empire player, I think it was really hard for him to stay on. But what we did get a good number of kills across the board with these great weapons. One group of Forsaken was taken out pretty heavily, and I'm not really sure what did that, but these aspiring champions, if you see, they were still kicking it with tons of health. I mean, the Chaos Sorcerer of Death took some damage, but between him and the Chaos Lord, they were able just to kind of get in there with that Spirit Leech, and then charging in Dragon Best Spirit Leech and charge with the 2 units. There is going to be, people are going to have some hard time staying alive through all that damage all at once. So either way, finally you can see that, I mean, there just wasn't a lot of kills. The Greenskin player, 23 with those Black Orcs. I think if you would, he was probably hoping he was going to be up against the Beastmen, because I mean, Black Orcs are the way to deal with the Chaos troops. A lot of these units, these Night Goblins, they're not going to have the staying power, and they're not going to have the armor piercing to be able to cut through these Chaos Warriors' armor. So overall, though, it was a great game to my opponents. Sometimes you just get counterpicked, or sometimes you get separated from your teammate and killed. But overall, great game. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe for more great online content. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's Battles.